Welcome back, Kiss Army, to another episode of We Are One.
What's up, Kiss Army? Here I am, here you are, we are one. Welcome to the Psycho Circus, Kiss fans, for another episode of We Are One at the We Are One show, where we're going to be talking today about an interview that Gene Simmons gave to Guitar World, talking about how we can be sure that this really is the final tour for Kiss. So the question that was posed to Gene was, a lot of bands embark on farewell tours, only to come back out a few years later and pick up right where they left off. How do we know this is really it for Kiss? And you gotta think that this question by the interviewer is a little bit tongue-in-cheek, considering that Kiss went out on the reunion tour, they did the Psycho Circus tour, and then they billed their final show with their final tour with the original lineup as the farewell tour. And we all know, despite whatever revisionist we want to talk about, the farewell tour was intended to be the farewell tour. Paul talks about that in his book. In Face the Music, Paul talks about the fact that after the farewell tour was done, he had no idea what to do with his life. So the farewell tour ended up evolving into the idea of the farewell of the original lineup of the band. Paul has said that in his book. You can read it in there. Paul talks about the fact that he was depressed and he had to find something to do. And then he picked up painting. But he also realized that he didn't have to have Kiss be over just because they did the farewell tour. He still wanted to play music. He still had more to give, clearly, because they're still going now, and it's been 20 years since the farewell tour in 2000. Paul said that the original lineup of the band was the farewell tour. That's what he says now. We all know it wasn't originally. So you gotta think that the interviewer probably knows that, and that's why they asked this question to Gene. Because, he doesn't really care. He's on tour anyway. He's gonna answer the question no matter what. So this is what Gene comes up with as a response. I understand. People might not believe it. Obviously, we're gonna stop right there at this point. Gene clearly knows everything I just told you, and he knows that all of the diehards especially know that, and that just general fans who saw Kiss 20 years ago on the farewell tour think that it was the farewell tour then, so why should they believe it now? And here's why. He says, but let's just call it for what it is. It's the final tour, because you might want to go out on top. I'm 69, still strong, still look good, still have hair on my head, although I have a lot more on my back now. But by this time the tour finishes, I'll be 72. So if I was in the Stones or U2, I could run around on stage in sneakers and a t-shirt and never break a sweat. And both those bands are great. But Kiss is a different animal. We're like heavy artillery. We're armored. I wear 8-inch platform heels, and it takes hours to put on the makeup and the studs and all the stuff. And then I fly through the air with no net, shoot fire out of my mouth. Paul flies off the stage wearing 40 pounds of armor. We all love Jagger and Bono, but if they put in the amount of work we put in, they drop dead in half an hour. Gene clearly believes that Kiss is the best. I think he genuinely believes that too. And from the standpoint he's talking about their live show, you have to agree. You just got to agree. Everybody else can go out on stage wearing a t-shirt, jeans, and some Converse, play an hour and a half, 2-hour set, and be fine. Kiss, however, and you know what? We also know that because Gene did that with the Gene Simmons band. Didn't break a sweat compared to what he does at Kiss. Have his makeup running off his face by halfway through the show. The Gene Simmons band, he can hang out, stand there, stand at his mic, play songs, play music, be a bass player, be a singer. Kiss, he's got to be the demon. He's got to be Gene Simmons. He's got to walk around everywhere. He's got to stick his tongue out. He's got to do it all, breathe the fire, fly up into the rafters, play God of Thunder. The Gene Simmons band, clearly, Gene was having a lot of fun, didn't really break a sweat that much. He could do it. He was able to do it. So when you think of that, Gene has done both. And Paul, too. Paul's done both. Paul went out on the Live to Win tour in 2006. He's done Soul Station stuff since then. They can do all of that fine. It's when you add the theatrical aspect of Kiss that things begin to say, Okay, how long can we realistically add an extra 40 pounds to us and continue to go? So the interviewer follows up with this question, and essentially it's just 2 words. It's not even really a question. He says, lazy guys. Gene responds to that by saying, I love them to death and respect those guys, but all they have to do is play and sing. This is true. 2 things can be true at once. It can be true that Gene is 69, 72, and that this was a farewell tour, and now it is the end of the road tour. That can be true at the same time that Kiss puts on a live show like nobody else, where they have to wear an extra 40 pounds of gear and do extra theatricals that no other band has to worry about or even consider thinking about when it comes to the length of their career. Both of those things can be true at once and are true. And so I think Gene, very matter of fact, says all of that in his little paragraph response there. But let me know what you guys think about Gene's comments with the comment down below. Remember, God gave rock and roll to you, and God bless you.
God bless you all.